Hi, it's me, the dude that made a career out of having 1,000 guitar amps and 3 riffs. And in the 5 years that I have been doing this YouTube channel, I've actually gotten to take part in a lot of really amazing things. I was the person who got to unveil the new PV6505 reissue amps to the world, which I still don't know how that happened, and I don't think PV does either. I got to take part in Sweetwater's first attempt at what was essentially a guitarist reality show. And among other things, I've had pedal builders reach out to me to help voice their pedals, and I've even had some amazing companies revoice their pedals based on the feedback from my videos. Not bad for a dude who hasn't practiced in 20 years. But all of that humble bragging aside, today I get to share with you what is my proudest moment, not only as a YouTuber, but as a musician in general, because I have partnered up with my favorite guitar company in the business, Ballaguer Guitars, in order to create Pure Belligerence. And it sounds like this. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle and welcome to Belligerent Studios. What I do here is I take all sorts of awesome high-gain related guitar equipment, I record it with a simple setup, and I give you the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into E-standard thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes that relentlessly make fun of their audience and good fun, you're in the right place. Consider hitting the like button and subscribing on the way out so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! All right, guys, so today is easily the biggest moment of my entire YouTube career. It's my biggest moment as a musician. And that's because I finally get to reveal what Mr. Joe Ballaguer and I have been working on behind the scenes for about the last 6 months. And that is our very first collaborative guitar run that you see right here in my hands. So there are a number of reasons that I wanted to team up with Ballaguer in order to basically create a guitar that was just a stripped down riff machine. I really wanted to bring a guitar to the world that essentially had everything that you need for awesome drop C hardcore, E standard thrash riffs, drop B beatdown, D standard punk rock, and pretty much anything high gain related in between. And number one is because Ballaguer has legitimately become my favorite guitar brand in the entire guitar world. And if you're not familiar with Ballaguer, Ballaguer came on the scene about 10 years ago, and what really set them apart from the beginning is they were one of the first brands to offer you a semi-custom builder option. And what that means is they essentially built a website that would allow you to design your own semi-custom guitars. You could literally sit there all day on the internet, mix and match, and kind of create your perfect guitar, either on your company's dime or while you're sitting on the shitter and your legs are falling asleep. And not only were they one of the first companies to offer something like this, but they were having these guitars built in a factory in South Korea, which means you were not paying insane USA custom prices, because up to that point, if you wanted a custom guitar, you were basically going to a small boutique builder to have it built, or you were paying a whole lot of money to have one of the bigger name brands build it for you. So Ballaguer really kind of introduced the affordable custom guitar to the world. And what's amazing about that is Ballaguer does not rest on their laurels. Like, they have been upgrading and updating the builder pretty much since day one. They are constantly adding new options, whether it be body shapes, colors, types of woods, fretboard options, pickup options, like you name it, they are constantly adding to the builder. In fact, at the time of filming this video, Ballaguer has added a bunch of new options to the builder for Black Friday. They are running all sorts of sales right now. They are running some discounts and some sales right now as well. So head over to their website and, of course, check out this guitar, but check out everything that Ballaguer has to offer, because they have some really cool stuff going on right now. But on top of being the forward-thinking company that kind of introduced all that to a mainstream audience, they also produce standard runs of guitars, and I have a number of guitars from their standard runs, And the quality on all of those guitars has been absolutely phenomenal. I'm not kidding. Every time I unbox a new Ballaguer guitar, it instantly becomes one of the best playing, best sounding guitars in my entire arsenal. They get constant playtime because they're legitimately some of the best guitars that I own now and have ever owned. So with all of this in mind, I wanted to design a guitar with them for those reasons. Of course, all that matters, but when I was dreaming up this guitar, one of the first things that came to mind that was really going to matter to me, especially now in 2025, is the price. I wanted to be able to introduce a new audience to Ballaguer because the semi-customs, while much more affordable than the USA custom type stuff, still, they come with a decent price tag because you're building a one-off guitar with custom options. If you know anything about guitar manufacturing or manufacturing in general, you're able to get really low prices through economies of scale. So I didn't want to design a guitar that was essentially going to look like it belonged in a dive bar on the weekends, but was played by people who are taking you to court for all you're worth on Monday. Like, I wanted to design a guitar that I would be proud to play live and most people in the audience could actually afford to own it. And that is exactly what we have here in this guitar. But before we even dive into the specs, I'll tell you the price. This guitar is $13.99, but it comes with a super nice fitted hardshell case. And if you have ever tried to shop for cases for large, extreme, pointy guitars like this, you will know that they are very expensive, especially for fitted cases. So the fact that you're getting a case that would probably cost you $250 to $300 when buying from some sort of third-party company, like, factor that into the price, guys. That is a big deal, and because I am a touring, gigging musician, a case on a pointy guitar like this is an absolute must-have, and I know that a lot of you guys who are buying this are going to appreciate that. So keep that in mind. $13.99 is the price for this thing. But wait, there's more! It comes with a free ShamWow. Just kidding, it's not as exciting as that, but it is still exciting. This guitar is 10% off until November 30th, which only gives you a few more days to put in a pre-order at that discounted price. That knocks 140 bucks off. That's a good discount on an already very affordable guitar. So if you want to get your name on the pre-order list for one of these bad boys, head on over to the links below and don't miss that sale price because it's not coming back. So guys, for the specs, I again combined some vintage and some modern stuff. And starting with the modern, the body is Swamp Ash, which I don't know of a lot of Swamp Ash Explorer style guitars. Most of them are mahogany. And I chose Swamp Ash for a number of reasons. Number one, because I really wanted it to have this open pore finish, and you need it to be ash or swamp ash to do that. But number two, I'm getting old and decrepit and basically worthless to society, which means that my lower back hurts when I play guitar standing up for a long time when my bands practice, and this Swamp Ash is very, very light. I think this guitar comes in at around 8 pounds, so that weight savings on the body is a godsend to me. Other modern features include stainless steel frets and a rich light fretboard. I love the snappy feel of stainless steel frets for the type of riffing that I do. And honestly, I have absolutely grown to love rich light fretboards because the profile, like, they're so smooth, they're so uniform looking, they're so uniform feeling. And I also kind of wanted to sneak in some inlays in there. So we've got these stealth black block inlays on the fretboard, and I think it's really cool if the light hits it just right. It kind of makes the inlays pop a little bit, present something a little different that you don't really see on any other guitars. There is one significant change. This is the prototype model, so this is the very first one built. Originally, we were gonna go with a bolt-on neck and a one-piece roasted maple neck, but that unfortunately presented an issue with where the strap button is, and frankly, I really like set necks, and it kind of seems like a lot of modern guitars are moving away from set necks and they're moving to bolt-on. So the production models of these will be a set neck guitar with a nice heel carve here, and we will move the strap button to the back, and that is what is gonna make this thing hang nice and balanced on you. And also, that roasted maple neck will be a 3-piece roasted maple neck. You're still gonna get the volute on the back, so it's not gonna go ahead and Gibson itself on you. And then also, as you see on the back of the headstock here, we've got some nice locking tuners. What is also gonna help you guys with string changes, and this is one of the areas where I kinda bucked up to the little bit more premium spec, we've got a Tone Pros locking bridge on here. And the main reason that I wanted to go with a Tone Pros locking bridge is because if you're changing all your strings, if you cut them all off at once like a lot of guitar techs do, in order for quick string changes, your bridge is not gonna fly off, it's gonna be locked in place. And also, the studs that your bridge sit on are not gonna move around, and therefore you're not going to lose your proper bridge height and intonation that you worked so hard to be able to pay someone else to do for you. And this is where we move to one of the most interesting parts of the guitar, and this is really one of the main reasons I wanted to design my own guitar, because it seems like a lot of metal guitars are going to kind of the one pickup setup, but it doesn't seem like a lot of Explorer style guitars are kind of getting that treatment. And as you guys probably well know, Explorers are my favorite body shape, but also there are a couple things that I wanted to do personally to it, because one issue that I have found is a lot of these single humbucker guitars out there, the volume placement, the volume knob placement is kind of goofy. It's like too close to the pickup, and I feel like when you're riffing, your finger hits it. I don't like that. So with the design, we went ahead and moved the volume pot a little bit further away from the pickup and the bridge so it's not in the way when you're doing your James Hetfield. Do my James Hetfield before I go to sleep. And then also on top of that, this is kind of a purely me feature because I'm an idiot. With the single pickup guitars that are on the market, there's no way to quickly mute it. You usually have to roll your volume down, and I've always basically removed my neck pickup or pulled it out of the circuit on most of my guitars and then used my pickup selector switch as a kill switch. I'll flip it up when I'm not playing. So we put in a two-way kill switch. Flip it up, you're in mute, flip it down, you're ready to rip. So to top all that off, I didn't want to put a name brand pickup in this thing because I don't know if you guys have tried Ballaguer's pickups, but they are literally some of the best pickups that I have ever played. You guys know I love my Seymour Duncans. I'm a JB guy. That's always been like my #1 pickup. But when I was choosing the pickup for this guitar, it wasn't even a question if it was going to be a Ballaguer pickup or not, because Ballaguer pickups, they all have exceptional clarity. They all seem to be super, super tight. And even the pickups with high whines, such as the Trunobucker, this comes out around 16K. It's an Alnico 5 pickup. It honestly is kind of a JB-ish type of thing, but this thing just has way more clarity than you're gonna get with those pickups. I think you'll be able to hear it in the clips. The string clarity, the note definition, the punch of this pickup is honestly as good as any pickup that I've ever used. Now for the other things I forgot to go over because I'm doing this off the top of my head and I suck at my job, I went with a 24 3/4 inch scale, which I've already seen some people online complaining about. Sorry guys, frankly, there are tons of modern Explorer style guitars out there that have a 25.5 inch scale. And being someone that was primarily a Gibson and an LTD player for the longest time, the EC1000 has a 24 3/4 scale. All of my Les Pauls, my SGs, my Explorers have a 24 3/4 inch scale, and I personally just like the way that it feels for palm mutes. I feel like palm mutes are a little punchier because of that shorter scale. But the cool thing is if you guys order enough of these guitars, if the run does well, I get to design more runs in the future, and I will absolutely design at least one run with a 25.5 inch scale. But Joe and I have also already talked about maybe doing extended range guitars and 7 or 8 strings. It really depends on how well they sell. I'm definitely gonna do something with a longer scale in the future if I am blessed enough to have that opportunity. You guys will be the ones who basically decide that, so keep that in mind. And the other thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that we got the beveled body. I love flat top Explorers, they're totally fine to me, but having the beveled Typhon prototype, the white one that I always play, that bevel right here and the tummy cut on the top just makes this the most comfortable guitar to play standing up. And because of the contours, it's one of the most comfortable, period. So I think that's pretty much it. I've been talking for way too long at this point, and I know that you guys want to hear some riffs. So what I'm gonna do, something kind of special, I'm gonna go for a trip down memory lane. I'm gonna bring you guys with me. I'm gonna play some riffs from some of the bands that I have been in over the years. And since I am known as the amp guy, I'm actually going to pick out of my collection the amps that I actually used for those bands and for those riffs when we recorded them over the years. So you're gonna get to hear this guitar through a number of sick amps and also a bunch of tunings, because we're going all the way down to drop C. So before I lose you, let's go do it. Amps. that note clarity on that thing, dude. Holy shit, that pickup is clear. All right, so most of you guys probably recognize that riff as the KB channel intro riff, but in reality, that riff belongs to my band Bushido Code. And the song is actually called Aftermath. It's off of our full length that we put out in 2020. And guess what amp I used to record that record? The Splawn. How'd you know? So the Belligerent Typhon here is kind of designed with ultra tight, thrashy, E-standard riffs in mind because that's probably what it's primarily going to be used for. You guys know my channel. You guys know the 3 riffs that I like to play over and over again. That 25.5-inch scale lends to some nice string tension, which just makes palm mutes really fast and really punchy. So yeah, for the first amp, man, we are sounding super articulate, super punchy in the room. Definitely lots of mids, lots of attack going on with this thing. As far as the rest of our signal chain, and it'll remain the same throughout the rest of this video, we're going through a PV 515412 cab. I have replaced the 16 ohm vintage, or I have replaced the Sheffield speakers with 16 ohm vintage 30 speakers. We've got an SM57 on those V30s, no post-processing and anything else that you will hear. So that was riff number 1, tuning number 1, band number 1. We are now going to switch to drop D. All right, next up, we are rocking the PV XXX on the Crunch channel. And this riff is from my old hardcore punk band called Counterfeit. Dude, just the feel of this guitar. I don't know if it's the combination of the scale length and the string through body. I've never had an Explorer style guitar with a string through body set up like this. And dude, it's just the palm mutes, everything's so punchy. Like the strings react exactly the way I want them to. And it just makes like palm muting and faster, you know, picking just feel easier. Like it feels effortless. Seriously, the setup on this guitar is so good. This thing is an absolute dream to play. This is so cool. This is my guitar, man. I designed this thing. Like, how cool is this? Seriously, man, what a cool moment. All right, I missed the XXX, by the way. This thing sounds rad. Let's move on to the next band and the next tuning. Oh, dude, this guitar is... All right, I am starting to warm up and I'm having even more fun playing these riffs right now. I'm telling you guys, there's something about a super resonant guitar that when you're playing it up against your body and you can just feel the guitar like moving and vibrating, it just, I really do feel like there's something special to that. Me, on a personal level, that is something I look for in a guitar, and this thing is ultra resonant. It just feels super responsive, super snappy, and it just makes it really fun to play. So that riff was Outlier 2 from my band Human Animal. I will make sure to have links to all these songs so you guys can check them out if you're interested. I'm sure nobody is, down in the description in the comments below. But Human Animal is one of my currently active bands, and we'll be playing, actually we're playing a show in about 2 weeks, and I'm gonna be using this guitar live. So it, we'll do it live. All right, guys, so for my drop C hardcore riff, I'm bringing it back to where it all started with the PV 6505. This is the amp that made me fall in love with guitar amps in the first place and brought us to this very moment. It's like a match made in heaven. All right, so this next riff is from my band X Represent X. This is called Get Something. It's off our first record, which will be 20 years old next year. That is depressing. Dude, okay, so this pickup has so much clarity in the top end and in the strings and the note definition that even on something like a PV5150, you can hear the individual notes of like the power chords, and it still sounds huge through the 5150, but the definition is there. I'm not just saying that because it's my guitar and I'm trying to sell it to you. The only reason I'm trying to sell it to you is so that I get to design more cool guitars. It's not about money at all. But for real, seriously, take everything what I have to say, massive grain of salt, all that. This guitar is insanely sick. I'm having way too much fun. Let's move on to another Dropsy riff. We have the legendary, the cult classic PV Ultra 120 Teal Stripe, and this is the amp that I actually used to record this next band's EP, 5-song EP. And this band was essentially my baby. This was like my brainchild. This band I have a huge connection with. So here is one of the riffs off that EP. It's called Hell Sent by the band Hell Sent from the record Hell Sent. I'm gonna call it there. This is seriously like the coolest moment of my guitar playing life, to be able to present this to you guys. I want to sincerely sit here for a second and say thank you to the audience, because if you guys didn't watch my videos, if you guys didn't support what I do here and back the belligerents, and I seriously have the best community. I say that to you guys as often as I can, and that's because I truly mean it. Like, you guys have been incredible over these past 5 years. This is because of you. I don't get to do any of this stuff without your guys' support. So the most sincere thank you from me, guys. This is easily the coolest moment that I've gotten to experience doing the whole YouTube thing. So if you guys would like to purchase this guitar or pre-order it, because again, these are not gonna be made, they're not gonna be like a specific number made and distributed throughout the world. If you want this guitar, you have to pre-order it. Make sure to head down in the description in the links of this video to pre-order it, because that's the only way you're gonna be able to get it. That's all I got. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.